What up? I told you guys that I might do a little late night stream because I gotta go to Pork Fest tomorrow. So why not? Why not? I'm gonna give people a minute to discover the stream, see if they want to come in. Hey man, if the trolls want to come hang out, that's cool too. Maybe we'll even do some call-ins. Maybe. I'm not promising anything. We're gonna see how long this goes, and I actually want to look at the CRT stuff. So let's see. Let us see. Let us see. We're gonna have a chill stream tonight. A chill stream. Okay? It's like put on some soft jazz in the background or something. That's like the type of stream that we're having tonight. I would play music. I would play music if I wouldn't get, in trouble for it. I'm gonna get plenty of sleep. I go to bed really late. Don't like dude, we're like nowhere near my bedtime yet. Like come on. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Hello, hello. I'm getting my studio up and running. How's everyone doing tonight? It's like the 18th stream I've been on today. Maybe not 18. That might be an exaggeration, so someone's gonna quote me out of context, be like, Carlin lied. She said that she had been on 18 streams and she had only been on 16. What a Democrat. That's what they're gonna say. Okay. Studio's up and running. Yeah, Alex is here. Alex knows what's up. Graphically, Alex knows what's up. Eric's wife! I heard you were looking at my shawls. I'm bringing a whole bunch of them to Porkfest. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I don't know what time I'm going to get up there. Listen, I had great ambitions of getting up early. I was like, I want to be there for Karen Ann's talk. That's like a 2-hour drive, and I don't want to get up that early. So I will be there at some point later in the day, and I will be bringing a bunch of shawls because I will be teaching a knitting class. So I have lots of samples to look at. Maybe it wasn't Eric's wife that was asking about the shawls. Maybe it was someone else. If I just confuse you with someone else, Cammy, like, yeah. Someone told me their wife. Oh, Josh! Sorry, Josh. God dang. Long day. Long day. But you can look at the shawls too. Oh, Jesus Christ. Life, man. Life. Yes, I really am this crazy at night. Or scatterbrained at night, at least. That's why I do my best writing at night, to be honest. Because I get a little bit crazy. Okay. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I would like to go and look at that CRT stuff from Iowa that came out. Did you guys hear about this CRT stuff from Iowa? Christian, you spend like way too much time. Way too much time. I appreciate that, Adam. Can you please tell some of these conservatives that? This is kind of why I went, this is partially why I went live. I want to complain. I want to file a grievance. I was thinking about this. I was kind of like going through in my head, like someone said to me on Twitter, someone said to me, what the hell did they say that I responded to? Oh, someone said to me that they hoped I would give the GOP another chance or something like that. And I was like, yo, I have been smeared. I have had my name besmirched. I have been lied about. I have been hounded by white supremacist hordes. If this is the GOP, you guys can keep it. I don't want it. I'm good. I am good. Yeah, I'm aware. I am aware of that one. I am aware. I knew. Oh, God. I knew. As soon as he came in that stream, I was like, dang. I was like, this is an old time setup. This is like someone who has like a trad wife or something. Now, there's anything wrong with being a trad wife. Teach their own. Who cares? Actually, let me talk about this for a second because we're having a chill stream. We're going to look at some stuff from Iowa. But People have been asking me. So, one of the questions that white supremacist guy Patrick asked me yesterday was like, like he asked me if I believe something was morally wrong, and I said no, I don't really believe anything's morally wrong. Well, what do I mean by that? I mean, so I tend to look at things from a deeply spiritual perspective. I believe that our actions, we behave the way we do, or we have the mindset we do, and it's going to create our experience around us. And I believe that I don't know if I've ever actually explained this publicly. I have explained it to my locals. Listen, okay. I know they're gonna be Christians here. That's fine. I don't care about Christians. But I say that because I have crazy woo-woo beliefs, right? I have crazy beliefs. And sometimes Christians get a little offended by that. No offense, Christians. But I'm allowed to believe crazy stuff because you guys believe that Jesus Christ was born of a virgin, and that's kind of weird because virgins can't get pregnant. So you believe weird stuff too. So I'm going to talk about the weird stuff I believe, and I just want no judgment. I've had a week. I need no judgment for a night until the horde shows up. So what I believe is that we are all spiritual beings having a human experience on this earth. And I believe that we all chose to come to this human experience at this time with the individuals that we have in our lives because we all needed to experience certain things to understand that experience. I believe that what is the meaning of life? Oh, Morgan. I'm coming tomorrow, Morgan. I'm coming tomorrow. I just packed. I was good. I got all my stuff together. I'm on my way. So, what was I saying? So I believe that we make the decision before we come to this planet about what type of experience we want to have here. And I believe like what is the meaning of life? That's what I really should have titled this stream, right? What is the meaning of life? Meaning of life with Carlin Borisenko at 1 a.m. on a Wednesday. Um, so I believe the meaning of life is experience. It's simply experience. And it's because we learn and we understand things through contrasting experiences. So if you have never had a cold shower in your life, if you have never experienced the pain of stepping into that cold shower and having to endure that cold shower because the power went out at your house a week before your wedding and you lost all your hot water, and that actually did happen to me, by the way, like for 5 days, the power was out. I had to take many cold showers. Um, if you have never experienced that before, can you ever truly appreciate how amazing a hot shower is? Right? If you have only ever had hot showers your entire life, can you and what like you don't really appreciate how amazing it is because like that's the pattern for you. You've only ever experienced that thing. Right? You don't know that there's anything else. But the minute you have that cold shower, you're like, dude, that cold shower sucked and I much preferred the hot shower. So sometimes we learn one of the best ways to identify what type of experience you want to have is to learn through contrast. You might because it's really hard for people for some reason to kind of say, these are the things I want. This is the type of life I want to build. People have a tough time building a vision for themselves. But if you can get them to say, okay, here are the things I hate. I hate having a 9 to 5 job. I hate having a boss I need to answer to. I hate having to commute 2 hours each way in order to get to said job. If you can get them to say the things they hate, then that's going to lead you to the things that they love, right? Because it's just about the contrast. We just learned from contrast. So I believe that the meaning of life is experience. And we come here to experience different attributes. And I think that sometimes people choose to have a happy life or a blessed life. And I believe that sometimes people choose to have an oppressed life or, maybe one where you live in poverty or one where maybe you were a slave somewhere. And the reason that we do that is because as spiritual beings, because there's a difference between human and spiritual beings, we believe, we know that we never really die. We never die. We're always a spiritual being, whether or not we're a human form or a spiritual being. And we know that when we're making the choices about what type of life we want to have, right? So, say you live one life as a queen and you have everything and it's the best life and you have all the power and the money and, whatever. But, uh, probably not. Probably not. Okay. So, say you live a life of luxury. Well, as a spiritual being, you might say, okay, that life of luxury, that was pretty good. I liked it. I liked it, right? I liked it. But you might say, maybe I would like a different type of experience. Or maybe because I lived a life of privilege in this lifetime, in my next lifetime, because I do believe people have multiple lives, maybe in my next lifetime, I want to live a life of poverty. I want to live a life where I'm actually oppressed and to have that experience. And then you have the contrasting experiences because we're here as spiritual beings who are having a human experience, right? So all these experiences we have as a human, it feeds our spiritual being to give us more knowledge. Now, why will we need to do that? Well, again, on a spiritual perspective, I believe that, God, source, one true energy, big ball of energy in the sky. I believe that we are all little parts of God, right? Because what I think is that the only way for God to not just be to be more than a big old ball of energy in the sky or wherever God is, I believe that God understood, well, I need to have more experiences. And in order for me to have more experiences, I need to break off into little pieces so I can send them to Earth to do or any other places because I believe there are other beings on other planets. Again, I believe in aliens. I believe they're already here. Um so I need to send these things into different type of human experiences to understand them and have good experiences and have bad experience, and that's what feeds our collective conscious. So that's what I believe. And so that's why I really don't believe from just like a personal standpoint in objective morality because I believe that everyone's here to do certain things. I believe that some people, and this is something people don't want to hear, I believe that some people make the choice to come here and get murdered. I do. I believe people make that choice. I believe that some people can come here to do really bad things, to maybe be a serial killer. Now, that's not the type of life that I would choose as a human being, but if you understand the broader context of the spirituality behind it, then it starts to make a little bit more sense because I'm not looking at it from a human perspective, I'm looking at it from a spiritual perspective. There's two different things. And you don't have to agree with my beliefs, but they are mine. And so that's really why. So that's not to say that I don't have, guidelines that guide how I behave on a day-to-day basis because I believe that our actions in this lifetime make up our experience. So why would I want to be a serial killer? Because like I'd be in jail or that'd be a miserable life. I don't want to do that. So, I think there are other ways to have a moral compass outside of like, like the 10 commandments or things like that. And it all leads back to the idea that you are going to receive and experience what you get based on what you put out there. So that hopefully explains that. I hope that clears things up. Let's see. Let's see. Corell and K, I'm going to boot you up to moderator because we talked about that. Okay. You guys want to look at some CRT materials from Iowa? Mm. Here, I should pour my Coca-Cola because we ran out of freaking bottled water. I didn't go downstairs to get a soda. I went downstairs to get water and we ran out. Truman's here. Definitely don't agree, but it's super interesting to hear other perspectives. Stay fly. Well, Truman, I think actually it's funny because I think our beliefs might overlap more than you know, just not the pieces that I specifically explained. All right, let's look at some Iowa stuff. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, Justice is here. Post Philosophy Tuesdays, post Psychic Tuesdays, before CRT nights. That's right. That's right. This is so nice without trolls. Okay. Oh Jesus. That was not what I wanted to do. Okay. Let's look at some CRT material. This is from Benny Johnson, who had breaking news of this CRT material from Iowa, just rearranging stuff so I can actually look at my screen in the chat at the same time. All right. So Iowa, as you might recall, is one of the states to pass a law banning the teaching of critical race theory. And so it's a little perturbing that apparently Iowa's school systems were teaching critical race theory. And I haven't looked at these yet. I kind of skimmed through them really quick, but I didn't look at them. So you guys are just going to be seeing my thought process tonight because why the hell not? Mount that like button while you're here, please. I appreciate it. Okay. Leaked documents from Iowa school systems show teachers are forced to classify Make America Great Again as a type of racism and white supremacy. This is done through mandatory critical race theory training forced on teachers at taxpayer expense. Trump won Iowa by 9+ points. I've seen this chart other places. I've seen this chart used in other places. Oh god. Come on, trolls, we are having a nice night here. Jesus Christ. We are having a nice night here. I don't care. The mods can take care of the chat. I know I've got mods in there. I appreciate all of you very much. Okay. Overt white supremacy, covert white supremacy. Yeah, I mean, listen, make America great again. That's not good. But why? Why, trolls? Why would you assume? Here's what it is. Because one of the trolls in the chat was like, see, it was make America great again. You're going to tell me that it's not anti-white? I'm sorry. Did I miss the memo where all of Donald Trump's supporters were white? Did I miss that memo? Because I seem to remember that Donald Trump in the 2020 election actually recruited more non-white voters to the Republican Party than any Republican in history. So you're going to tell me it's anti-white? You're going to tell the MAGA being on the list is anti-white? That's really racist. And that's really dismissive of all of the non-white people who just voted for Donald Trump in the 2020 election. There you go. School to prison pipeline, Confederate flags, I'll believe POC experience. Yeah, I mean, so this is all just like this is like all just like feeling shit. Police murdering okay. How is police murdering people of color covert white supremacy? That seems like they're saying it's socially acceptable. Based on what data? Don't blame me. I never owned slaves. Well, it is actually pretty socially acceptable to say that. Yeah, that's nonsense. But what were they actually teaching with this chart is the question, really. Okay, teachers of Iowa were being instructed to classify the vast majority of Iowan children as racist this is the point he's making, okay. As racist and white supremacist. Iowa's Trump country. Trump carried 94 out of 99 Iowa counties in 2020. Republican governor endorsed Trump. The Iowa Senate House is solid Republican. Yeah, I guess so. Then pointing out that, okay, this is rock solid, real world application of critical race theory being used as a political weapon to target Republicans. No, that's not what it is. I'm sorry. I completely disagree with that analysis. I don't believe they were targeting, they were teaching this stuff specifically. Listen, okay, dude, come on. This is just stupid. If you haven't already read Ken Wilber, I think you would appreciate his spiritual framework and holism. Sex, Ecology, Spirituality is his best book. Thank you for that recommendation. I might check him out. But this is a dumb idea because this is not solid real world evidence that critical race theory was being used to target Republicans. What this is solid real world evidence that critical race theory was being taught in Iowa. That's what it is. He's inferring something that he hasn't proven. He has not okay, maybe it's further down in the thread. I'm going to maybe maintain, suspend disbelief for a second, but I don't think he has any sort of letter saying, you know what we're going to do as a teachers union? You know what we're going to do? We're going to teach critical race theory in order to indoctrinate these Republicans so that they all vote for Joe Biden in the 2020 election. No, I don't think he has a letter saying that, so it doesn't prove exactly what he says he does. Shocker, Benny Johnson is exaggerating. It is naked political vengeance using the state education system and our children's educators. This training is CRT in practice. The training was mandated to all educators and employees of the Mississippi Bend Area Education Agency, one of the largest school districts in Iowa. The training is stamped with the approval of the school district, which operates under the Iowa Department of Education. Okay, fine. At the time of this racist training, House File 802 was working its way through the Iowa legislature, so it wasn't banned yet. The bill explicitly banned this style of derogatory offensive training and its mandatory diversity training for state and local employees. The bill in Iowa is now law. Okay, listen, I am not ever a defender of critical race theory in schools. I think everyone should know that in theory, but the law wasn't in place yet, so you can't say they broke the law because the law wasn't yet in place. No trolling here. I'm off duty. My rates are expensive. This diagram looks like every leftist boogaloo that occupies their mind. Yeah, I don't think you're trolling, man. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. This slide that lists Make America Great Again is white supremacist. It also lists as racist Columbus Day, American immigration law, mass incarceration, denying white privilege, believing America is post-racial, believing people are part of a human family. Yeah, of course, that's dumb. Come on. Although, I will say this, hang on. Why did the people who made this chart believe that black people don't see themselves as part of a human family? Why did the people who made this chart believe that there are no Latino people who have issues with mass incarceration? Why did the person who made this chart believe that Asian people couldn't have color blindness? Which is to say that they don't treat people differently based on the color of their skin. For everything that they say that whites are guilty of in this chart, you can also turn it around and say, if you think that this is an attribute of white supremacy, that means that you fundamentally don't believe that non-white people are doing it, or non-white people don't experience it, or non-white people don't believe it. It's racist in the other direction. For everything that is racist against white people under critical race theory, it is also racist in the other flipping direction. I don't know why people don't understand this. I don't know why people don't understand this. If you believe that only white people are capable of hard work, that means you believe that all non-white people are not capable of hard work. If you only believe that white people are capable of being on time, that means you don't believe that all non-white people are capable of being on time. If you believe in teaching biracial children that one of their parents is an oppressor and one of their parents is oppressed, why are you making, like, you're screwing with the head of that child. You are screwing with the head of that biracial child who will ever not be able to figure out, am I good or am I bad? Or they hate half of who they are. It's just mind-boggling to me. It is mind-boggling to me that people honestly think that treating one form of racism as worse than any other form of racism. It is fucking impossible to believe that people don't understand that that's racist. I'm sorry. It is impossible to believe that people don't think that that is racist. You're literally treating one form of racism as more damaging, as more problematic than any other form of racism. That is literal racism. That is literally, motherfucker. That is literally putting one race above another. You know, human beings are fundamentally selfish. That's very, very true. And so I get it. I get it to a certain extent. I get it that white people are freaking out because they see things. You know, I mean, like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, there are days I am more worried. Well, maybe not more worried. Like, I couldn't have known at the time. But what if it was like the be less white training that really activated this anti-white thing? What if it was the thing that I broke that really activated this anti-white thing? I don't know how I would deal with that. I really don't. I don't know how I would deal with that. But I couldn't have known, so, because I thought people would not turn into goddamn racists. All right, let's continue. Here is more from the presentation. This slide shows levers of racism: systemic, institutional, interpersonal, and internalized. Translation: everything is racist. And you are racist for being white. You're There is a hierarchy of oppression. And what they say is that racism equals prejudice plus power. Now, I want to preface this. I don't understand why people are playing by the rules that the left is setting. If you are not also a woke identitarian, then why on earth are you playing by the rules that the left is setting? Why are you accepting them? The left just made them up. They literally made them up. Why are you just saying the left is like, here, conservatives, here are the rules that we are playing this game by. And conservatives, instead of being like, no, 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 we don't agree to this. We didn't sign on board with this. We want to say, they just agree to the rules. And they're like, okay, well, you're telling us that, people can't be racist against white people. I guess we have to accept that. There's just nothing else we can do. We just have to accept it. That's what they want. But I say it with a tone. And so I'm obviously wrong. All right. Levels on which racism exists. Internalized race-based beliefs and feelings within individuals. These documents aren't even that enticing. Interpersonal bigotry and biases shown between individuals through words and actions. Institutional discriminatory policies and practices within organizations and institutions. Systemic ongoing racial inequalities maintained by society. All right. This slide shows deep terms for deeper understanding and links to two websites that define these terms, citing the biggest proponents of CRT, Robin DiAngelo, Ibram X. Kendi, and the creators of critical race theory, Gene Stefanik and Richard Delgado. Terms for deeper understanding. Any racist. Oh, this is actually good. I'm stealing this because I have a section in my book where I talk about keywords to look for. Actually, what the hell am I doing? Hang on. I was going to bookmark this like a normal person instead of stealing the screenshot. Okay. White privilege, white supremacy, people of color, equitable and equity and equitable, new terms related to covert racism, bottom portion of triangle, microaggression, racist equality toolkits, okay. I know exactly where that's god damn it, that's where I've seen this before. I reviewed this training. I knew this stuff looked familiar. I've reviewed this training before. I don't think I did it publicly, but I reviewed this training. Not this one specifically, but the company that wrote it. I reviewed this a while ago. I went to a whole webinar about it. Hundreds of educators and staff have been forced to take this training. We have a sign-in sheet. Attendees of the meeting were prompted to give their input on drafting an anti-racism statement and break into groups to discuss their own whiteness and racism. Last fall, members of the Equity Committee drafted a statement for MBAEA to post as a commitment to the work of anti-racism. The intent is to post this statement on our website as a start, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Is that it? Wow, this is like super uneventful. Okay. The facilitator notes on their slides that attendees were asked questions to state their own beliefs, basically forced to ask themselves if they might be racist for agreeing with the terms "Make America Great Again." Okay, so as someone who has facilitated things like this before, I don't know, like, you don't always say exactly what's in the slides, so that, like, this isn't actually 1000% evidence that this was taught, because, like, what these companies do is they create things that they can sell to like facilitators, and they put all these like little helpful notes in. But I'm just speaking for myself. I have never once used the notes that one of these companies gave me. I always just like say what I want to say about it because sometimes I agree with them and sometimes I don't. And I cannot remember a time when I've used the notes that they gave me in the facilitator kit. So I don't like, and they may have, because a lot of facilitators are like a lot lazier than I am. So they may have, but I don't think this is 100% evidence of that, to be honest. More slides showing the purpose. I'm so persnickety tonight. Oh my god, I'm so persnickety tonight. I'm like, this is stupid and everything sucks. More slides showing the purpose of meeting norms, their definition of equity, and silence. What are the silence breakers? Let's take a look. I'm really nervous slash scared slash uncomfortable saying this. But from my experience perspective as identity, I'm afraid I may offend someone. And please let me know if I do, but I'm not sure if this will make any sense. But I just felt something shift in the room. I'm wondering if anything. Wow. Oh my god. I'm gonna say this in the next locals meeting. Like, look for this. I'm gonna say this in the next locals Zoom meeting. Not on Thursday, because I don't think I'm gonna be there on Thursday because I'm going to Pork Fest. I've got others. I'm gonna be smoking a lot of weed in the woods with libertarians. Is what I'm doing. I'm sorry. I'm ditching you guys for libertarians and weed. It's true. So, but in my next Zoom meeting, what I'm gonna say is I just felt the shift in the room. I'm wondering if anyone else did. And I'm just gonna slide right in there with it. Like, you guys aren't gonna see it coming. I'm just gonna be like, someone's gonna finish their sentence and I'll be like, I just felt the shift in the room. I'm wondering if anyone else did. That's stupid. Why would you put that as a silence breaker? Jeez. It seems as though some people may have had a reaction to that. Can you help me understand why? Can you help me understand whether I'm thinking? Wow. Can you imagine saying to someone, can you help me understand whether what I'm thinking right now might be problematic? Seriously, could someone like, wow. Oh my god. Kristen Nooney, you're an asshole and I don't like you. Get the fuck out of my state. I don't care how big your trust fund is. I don't care. I am going. Here's my plan. When Kristen Nooney runs for Senate, if I can't convince the libertarians to run someone, and I'm not giving up on that yet, I'm going to Porkfest to negotiate. Like, if the actually, probably not. I'm probably not even going to talk about this at Porkfest. But if they can't convince the libertarians to run someone, I'm going to go to like every Chris Sununu rally in the state of New Hampshire, and I'm going to hold up a sign that says Chris Sununu supports state-sanctioned racism. That is the plan. That is the plan. I talk to people and be like, Chris Sununu supported CRT. Chris Sununu worked with the Democrats. I will talk to everyone. Did you know that Chris Sununu supported teaching your child racism? It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, Chris. Either that or I'm gonna help any libertarian I find acceptable to try to get the 4% for ballot access. Okay, can you help me understand whether what I'm thinking right now might be problematic? This is what I understand you to be saying. Is that accurate? I'm having a yeah, but. Okay. Wow. Who says that? I'm having a yeah, but. Can you help me work through it? What does that even mean? Can someone in the chat please explain to me what exactly that means? Who said, like, what the fuck is a yeah, but? I don't understand. I'm engaged, but just needing some time to process this. What I am working on processing is blank. Oh my god. Okay. Norms. Let's look at the norms. State oh, this is just like the rules for the meeting. Be present morally, intellectually, and socially. Experience discomfort. No, wrong. You don't put that as a norm for a meeting. Acknowledging when something is uncomfortable and being willing to explore it. Speak your truth. Bravely put your feelings that are being experienced into the room. Okay, this is a contradiction. Brian, thank you for your text message earlier, and I appreciate you trying. I appreciate it. I think I've got it covered. I talked to someone today, so I think I got it covered. But I appreciate it, my friend. Um, so isn't it contradictory to say bravely put your feelings that are being experienced into the room with experience discomfort? Like, if you're experiencing discomfort, can you bravely put those feelings that are being experienced into the room? I mean, really, like what if a white person experienced discomfort in the meeting and they spoke up, they spoke their truth, and they were like, "I'm experiencing discomfort." And the facilitator was like, "Shut the hell up, white person. You're not allowed to experience discomfort here." Well, you just broke rule number 3 of the meeting. They were allowed to speak their truth and they spoke their truth. So that's contradictory. Expect and accept non-closure. Oh, I guess. Oh, this is it. This training's only for what? I just figured it out. Okay, I just figured it out. Okay, check this out. This training, because it was in Iowa, was directed at white people, right? Like, I'm gonna bet you, 95% of the people who took this training were white people. So these are really rules for white people. These should be named rules for white people. Stay engaged, which for social justice trainers basically means like, sit there and listen to me. That's what they're saying with rule number 1, rules for white people. Sit there and listen to me, stay engaged. Next rule is if you don't like what I'm saying, too bad. The next rule is, don't you can speak your truth, but to rule number 4, don't expect that you're going to get an answer. That's what this is. That's what it is. UFO talk. Yeah, well, my dad worked for George Bush, so there you go. Oh, so you know UFO talk. You know what I'm talking about. You know that Chris Sununu is only doing what he's doing because he wants to run for Senate because he thinks that daddy won't love him unless he runs for Senate and achieves something higher because he hasn't developed self-worth. At least that's my opinion. That is my opinion on the matter. I think he's doing it for daddy's love. That is just an opinion. Just an opinion. All right. So rules for white people. 1, shut up and listen. 2, you know, you don't be prepared to not like what I have to say. 3, you can talk about it if you want, but if you do talk about it, to rule number 4, don't expect me to give you an answer you like. That's our norms. The conclusion of the presentation prompts the instructors to plan next steps for our shared learning experience and organizational growth next fall. They're planning on teaching this to your children next semester. This is illegal under Iowa state law. Does he actually have anything that says they're going to teach it to kids? Hang on. I thought this was a course for teachers. We thank you for your vulnerability and willing to learn as we undertake this journey where you recognize that learning is sometimes uncomfortable and we may not know how to respond. As we move forward, the information you provide in the equity rubric linked in this slides will be used by the Anti-Racism Subcommittee and the full Equity Committee to plan next steps. We will be reviewing all department resources and meetings throughout May, and we'll use these responses to plan for next steps for our shared learning and organizational growth in the fall. Nothing in this says that they are planning on teaching any of this to children. I just got to point that out. Listen, I'm not saying they're not teaching nonsense to children. I'm sure they are. But nothing that Benny has provided, Benny as a journalist has provided, says that they're going to teach this to children. I'm sorry. It doesn't. At the end of the training, the Iowa teachers were given a reading list that includes white fragility, equity tools, other nonsense stuff. Okay, they were given a reading list. Doesn't mean they have to read it. The training is hard proof that critical race theory is being used as a political weapon, specifically targeting Republicans. This is not education. It is a political vengeance, using the federal education system they are starting with our children, even in the dark red states. Um, this isn't proof of anything. Statement from the governor. This is indoctrination, not education. It's exactly why I took action to ban teaching divisive concepts and critical race theory in schools. Kids need to be taught how to think, not what to think. Listen, I'm not going to say this training is good, but this training does not say what Benny says it does. It just doesn't. It doesn't say this. He hasn't provided evidence. This is not journalism. This is outrage. I'm sorry. I'm against this training. I don't think it should be taught, but Benny is lying about what it says. And can we pause it for a second? This is a question for the chat. Why might Benny Johnson be lying about what this presentation says when he's literally presenting it right in front of you? He's showing you that it doesn't say the thing he says it does, and he's lying anyway. Why do you think he might be doing that? Why do you think he might be doing that for the chat? I did see what happened in Loudoun County tonight. I did. I did. That was rad. I didn't really look at it closely. Yep, Justice says clicks, likes, and subscribers. I love how there's so little real racism in America now. We need to specifically train people to help us all spot it, deal with it, and surprise, dealing with it equals implementing left agenda. Yeah. I'm not sure I agree with you about the racism piece. We already talked about that. Now, I mean, I do think that it's proportionally small, but I think it's bigger than people think it is. Yep, it's the grift. This is a grift. And yep, they're trying to stir up outrage. That's all it is. They're saying it specifically targets Republicans. It does not say anything about specifically targeting Republicans. Just because the majority of people in Iowa voted for Donald Trump does not mean that this training was implemented with the specific purpose of targeting Republicans. There's no reason to say that other than to drum up outrage. That's it. Arcadian Twilight, I am an Iowan. I talked to another person that's an Iowan today. We put these nuts ahead of Rhino rebukes for a Prez primary. Declared war on Missouri for messing with our border. This will not end well for them. Yeah, shit stirs. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, Washington, Jamie, is teaching people to do this. Illinois, I think, also requires it in their teacher education program. All right. So that's that. Is there anything else that you guys would like me to look at tonight or comment on tonight? I am open for questions. I don't think I'm going to do Collins. I don't feel like it. Collins went like an hour and a half longer last night than I anticipated. I got to go to bed. I got to get up and drive 2 hours to Lancaster, where I will go to Porkfest. Lancaster, by the way, is like 5 minutes away from where I got married. So it'll be a little homecoming. Oh, what else did I want to talk about tonight? Oh, yeah, there was one other thing. Ah. Do I sleep on the ride? No, I'm driving, dude. I'm driving my car. Victor's gonna come up on Thursday evening. You're the first super chat I've done. Thank you for what you do. Oh, thank you for Jesse's girl. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I'm trying, man. I am trying. But I gotta tell you, like, the last week has been, like, really disheartening. It's been really disheartening. Now, don't you worry, I'm not letting these little white supremacists win. Like, fuck that. Like, I get like the more people come at me, the more stubborn I get. So I'm like, no, nope. Keep hitting arrows in my back. I don't care. I don't care. But I won't say I won't like it's been disheartening, man. Like, we're already so much on the back foot. It's already really bad. Listen, like a lot of these people who talk about critical race theory, and I don't want to trash anyone's involvement in the initiative because everyone's contributions matter. The contributions of every single person, whether you are Chris Rufo or you are James Lindsay or you are a mom speaking up at a school board meeting or you are, someone who's reading this information and sharing it on your Facebook page or any number of like other small things you can do. Maybe you just donate. You donate to support Gabrielle Clark's lawsuit that I was tweeting so much about. Like every single contribution matters, and so I'm not placing this in terms of relevance, but like I am one of very few people that I know of just working, like, on the ground with everyday people trying to help, just, really taking James Lindsay's work and trying to translate it so that average people can understand it. Like, one of the things I've always been really, really good at is taking academic speak and making it understandable for the average person. And sometimes it takes like a couple of tries because the language it's a complicated subject and it's a nuanced subject, and the definitions of things are so all over the place that sometimes something will mean one thing and sometimes something means another thing. And this is the game they play with language. And I feel like I've done a fairly good job, and I've really this is part of what I'm working on in my book, is trying to really make this understandable for the average person. And it's taken a lot of time and a lot of effort, and I've had to, talk to a lot of people and work with a lot of people and do a lot of presentations on it and drive around all over the place and give up all my time to fight it. And it's just like I'm one of the very few people that are doing it on this level again that I know of. Not to say there's no other people doing it. I look at someone like Lily Tang Williams, who's a Chinese immigrant that grew up in the Cultural Revolution. She's doing it. I'm sure there are other people, but I'm on a very it's not a lot. It's not a lot, and I feel like that gives me different insight than a lot of people have because I'm actually talking to people. And the folks at Counterweight are doing some of this stuff. They're doing like listening sessions and stuff. And I mean, regardless of what I think of like Helen Pluckrose insulting me on Twitter, I think that Counterweight overall is doing good work. I've heard a lot of good things about the listening sessions that they're doing. And that my beef with Helen Pluckrose it doesn't impact my acknowledgement that it's a good thing for people. But what I'm saying is there's just so limited exposure to this from people. And so to have people on the right just totally throw me under the bus, totally just dismiss me, totally just throw aside what I'm saying when I'm legitimately seeing something right in front of my eyes when I have done so, so, so much. It's really disheartening. It's really disheartening. I'm trying to sound chill, Alexandra. Like I said, it's a chill kind of night. We're not having a yelling stream tonight. We're having a chill stream tonight. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. And the trolls can come if they want to. I don't really care. I don't really care. The trolls have inoculated me. I no longer care. And it's kind of like, you know, the Bills skewered in New Hampshire. The budget's going to go down in flames this week. And why should I keep doing this? If I'm just gonna get stabbed in the back, why should I keep doing this? But then I hear from people that, I've helped them or I've helped explain it and people value what I do, but you know, sometimes it doesn't feel like it when you're being attacked on all goddamn sides and you feel like you're going crazy up until the time when like, you know, Chris Rufo confirmed to me that he saw it too, and I was like, "Oh, thank God someone else sees it." And they're going after him now, which is fun for him, I'm sure. But it's just like, why? Why does the right do this? Honestly, why does the right do this? Can someone give me an explanation for why they just consistently shoot themselves in the foot? Why do they do this? I cannot tell you how many. I just got an email last night from a lifelong Republican that I told the story of what my one night stand with the Republican Party and why I left it after the election. And I was like, basically, the Republican Party completely changed before the election and after the election, and so I had a really short stint at it because it was a completely different party. It wasn't the party that I made the decision to join. It completely changed, and I kinda thought, maybe that's just your perspective from being a Democrat and then not being affiliated for a year. Maybe it was just your perspective that it changed because it shifted, and maybe it didn't really change that much, and it was always that way. That was what I was really worried about, that, that I had been fooled into believing the Republican Party was, something that it's, like, not. But I got an email from a lady last night that was like, "I joined the Republican Party when I was 17." I think she said she's in her late 50s or something, and she just made the decision to leave the Republican Party, and she did it for exactly the same reasons that I did. Exactly the same reasons. Yeah, Patrice says Trump brought them together. Yeah, I think so. That's just too bad. It's too bad. Good logic. I'm a conservative who made an anti-influences vid and got assailed by the Groyper army. You can't let it get to you. You know, it's not getting to me. It's not it's not as much that. Like that's a manageable situation now. I'm so blessed to have so many amazing mods in the chat and that's a more manageable situation. But and they're also, I mean, to be frank, lifelong Dems and Republicans are two sides of the same coin. They don't think for themselves, shaking my head. I agree, Jamie. Um, to be honest, like the Groypers are making me a lot of money. Like honestly, like you gotta always look at things from both sides. You can always look at things from multiple different perspectives. You can always look at like the bright side and the dark side. The bad side is that like I've had to deal with constant ongoing harassment and having my name dragged through the mud for a week. The good side is I made a bow ton cash this week compared to like normal anyway for the content stuff, and I'm not gonna feel bad about that. I am not at all going to feel bad about that. I have earned that. I've earned that through annoyance and spite. And I really do think too, I have to be grateful for the trolls because they did give us an opportunity to highlight something, and there are some great journalists working on this. There are great journalists looking into it. There are at least 4 of them. Um, you know, and so I really do hope that it gets reported. I really, really do. That's all I wanted was for this to get reported. That's it. All right. Well, I definitely want to get off in like the next not that type of get off. Get your minds out of the gutter. I want to go to bed pretty soon. So I'll probably like spend maybe 15 more minutes hanging out. Does anyone have like questions? Like let's not do an ask me anything. Ask me anything. I'll be paying attention to the chat. Ask me anything. What are your burning questions for our chill evening? And I'll answer what I can. Except for trolley questions. I'm not answering trolley questions. Normal questions. I mean, yeah, maybe. I don't know. How are there so many mods up this late? Because the mods are awesome. Mods are awesome. The dream coat, Adam's dream coat. Adam's dream coat is almost done. What's behind me on the pegs? Different shawls. Do you guys want to see some shawls? Here, I'll show you some shawls if you want. I didn't watch Tree of Logic's video. Adam's Technicolor Dreamcoat is downstairs, but it's looking really good, and I should be able to finish it. Not this week, but next week it should be finished. Almost finished. I just need to do one more section. I'm on the last section, and then I have to add some trim, to make it nice. But it's pretty much almost done. The problem was like the latest delays. Actually, my freaking knitting needle broke. The knitting needle that I was using for it broke, and I had to wait for a new one. And there's just like a specific type of knitting needle I was using for that. So there's a little bit of a delay. I think Adam has waited longer than he thought he was going to get a sweater. But listen, man, sweaters take a long time. Okay, you guys want to see some shawls? Okay, I'll show you some shawls. I'll pick a selection. All right, hang on. Oh, let's see. What do I want to show you? Ah, just hit my chair against the desk. Hang on. Okay, I'm gonna come back here. I am neither an atheist or a homosexual, but thank you for the super chat, little troll. And now you're gonna get banned. Okay, here I'll even come back a little bit so you guys can see the shawl in all its glory. I hope. Hang on. Ooh, I can even this microphone goes, like, all the way fucking I've never sat this far back before, away from my desk. Alright, I have this shawl. Whoop! This was one of my first Westnitz yarn-alongs, and I really love this one. This is actually one of my favorites. It's called Meshy Twist. It's a giant pain in the ass because it has a lot of purl through back loops, and it has but I really love the yarn. Like, the colors on this are sick. It slays so well. It's, like, perfect. I like that one a lot. This was a Westnitz mystery yarn along, a mystery knit along from like 3 years ago, I think. It's called Texture Time. It's a big shawl. It is a big, big shawl. But this wraps like all the way around. And it took forever. But and this is actually the second version of this shawl that I made. I made a different one with different colors. But the thing with like the Westnitz mystery knit alongs is what it is you sign up and you get a new section each week. So this shawl starts off with this middle section, and that was week 1. And then you have the slides. I love these. Is that the right side? No, hang on. I'm showing you the wrong side. Gotta show you the right side. I love the Latvian braids on this one, and this yarn, this pink yarn in the middle is fuzzy. And then this one, this section, and this one. And then there's an optional border along the bottom. So this one took a while. Jake asks, how do you deal with family and friends that have a deep hate for anyone to the right of them? My cousins view me as a threat after voting for Trump. Jake, I would just say, I would just say that stick to your beliefs, but leave room for your family to come around. Leave room, like leave the door open. Don't give them the hate that they're giving to you, and just you can only be the person that you are. That's all you can do. And it's better to be who you are than to not be authentic. And like my very definition, I always laugh when people call me a grifter because like my very definition of a nightmare is not being able to say what I want to think. Like I've built an entire life specifically to be able to say what I want to think. Why would I lie? Why would I lie? But this is a good shawl. Good shawl. This one is one of my favorites, but I never wear it, but it is actually one of my favorites. This is called the Painting Brick Shawl, and it looks like stained glass. And actually, if you guys remember when I was first on Dave Rubin's show, I knitted him a mask afterwards, and that was out of this royal blue right here because I was knitting this shawl at the time, and I had a lot of this royal blue left over, and so I knit a mask out of it. I knit one for his husband too, because you can't just send one mask if he asks you to knit a mask. You got to send a pair. Like it's rude to only send one. So that's the Painting Brick Shawl. I used exact colors that Stephen West used on his sample because I thought it was so great. Let's see. This one's so cool. You guys are gonna fucking love this one. Check this out. This was the Westnitz Mystery Knit Along a couple years ago, and it's called Starflake. This is one of my favorites. It's one of my absolute favorites. I love all of it. I actually have been thinking about making another one of these. He's got a blanket version of this that I was thinking about making, but that's like a big project. But I just love it. I love the neon green. And I wore this to the last Vogue Knitting Live that was ever in person. And Stephen West was there. And Stephen West is the designer of the shawl. And I wore it and he gave me a compliment. And he said he loved the neon green. And I was like, knit a sweater for Jeremy Kaufman's balls. That's rude. That's rude. I'm sure Jeremy Kaufman has balls of steel, man. Like his balls are fine. Okay, this is the only shawl that I have ever designed myself. The only one, and I call it the Phoenix Fade Shawl. because what I wanted to do was to have a dark fade. I wanted it to look like there was a big burst of fire in space. And so it's a big triangle shawl with a big brioche section in the middle and a fade on the top and a fade on the bottom. So it looks really cool. And that's the only one I've ever designed. And I thought there was a brief moment where I was like, I'm going to be a shawl designer. And then I designed my first one and I never wrote a pattern for it. And I was like, there's the end of that. Oh. Okay, check this one out. Check this out. Check this out. This one's so heavy. This is actually the shawl version of the sweater that I'm knitting for Adam. This is a shawl version of that. So this is the Marled Magic Shawl. We have lots of fades. Lots of good stuff. One of my favorite sections that I've ever. Is that the right side of that's the wrong side? Sherilyn has. So are you gonna sell some of those shawls? How much? These shawls are expensive, man. Every single one of these shawls behind me, probably has at least $90 worth of yarn in them. At least $90. Some of them more. This shawl right here, has over 40 different yarns in it. Okay, so is this the right side or the wrong side? This is the right side. Okay, so this is one of my favorite fades I've ever done right here. Check this fade out. Check this out. How sick is that? It's a rainbow, and it all goes all the way up into the brioche. And the other thing I like about this shawl, it's got this mesh section in the middle, but it also has a giant braid with a tassel. And I am a big fan of tassels. I'm a big, 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 big fan of tassels. I'm good at making tassels. I'm a big fan. Okay. Okay. Are you guys ready for the most 80s shawl you've ever seen in your life? If you're ready for the most 80s shawl ever, I want to see a Y in the chat. Who is ready for the most 80s shawl that has ever been knitted ever? Okay. All right. All right. Check this out. It is a giant triangle of all neon with giant yard overs. This thing is like 9 feet long. I can't even hold the whole thing out because it's so big. And it's awesome. And it's the most 80s shawl that has ever been knitted ever in the history of shawls. Ever in the history of shawls, most 80s right here. Let's see. This is actually a more recent one that I made. This is like an older West Knits design that I always wanted to knit. I like the neon green. It's like a little capelet shawl. This is, I think, the Chrysler shawl or something. Or no, Rockefeller. All right. Let's see what else. I need to turn around. Oh. Okay. Okay, I got some more. All right. Does anyone recognize this shawl? Does anyone recognize this one? Where is this shawl from? Who knows where this shawl is from? Who knows where the shawl is from? Prager Patrice. Yeah, this is a shawl that I wore in the PragerU video. And I told you guys I like tassels. Bing! Tassel. Okay, this shawl This shawl is so fun because this was a Westnitz a Westnitz knit along shawl. And so you got to understand when you do the Westnitz knit alongs, and there is actually one going on right now. What you do is you sign up and you say, Westnitz, I like your design so much that you can give me a mystery design and mystery yarn, and I will knit whatever you send me. Okay, so this Westnitz shawl was a mystery knit along shawl from a couple years ago. And what I think is funny about this is I was like, Stephen West told us to knit a shawl with 3 dicks on it, and we all did it. This is like the dick shawl right here. I was looking at it after I found, I was like, dude, we all loved Stephen West so much that we literally knitted a shawl with 3 dicks on it. I mean, come on. Come on. All right, this is really hot. So I'm taking this off. Okay. This one is one of my favorites. I have way too many shawls, I'm realizing. Oh my god. Check this out. Check this out. This is legit. All of those color sections are fuzzy yarn. I don't know if you can see the difference in the fuzz between that and the normal yarn. That's pretty rad. You know when I finished this one, check this out. I finished this shawl on the way to South Bend, Indiana, where I was keynoting an event. Well, Pete Buttigieg was mayor, and I ended up going to the opening of Pete Buttigieg's South Bend office because it happened to be on the same day that I did the keynote. And, and then 2 years later, I was smeared on the internet for being a Pete Buttigieg supporter when I never hid that I was by conservatives. Thank you, conservatives. Okay, we're gonna do 3 more. We're gonna do 3 more, then I'm gonna go to bed. Okay, so this shawl. Okay, check this out. Bloop. This is a I forget the name of this. Speckle and Pop. Speckle and Pop. Ooh, I love this yarn so much. And you guys probably can't see it, but this yarn actually has copper woven into it. So it should be sparkling. I don't know if that's coming through on camera, but this does actually have like sparkle yarn in it. I still have ends I haven't even weaved in. It should have sparkle yarn on it with actual copper. It looks so cool. All right. And this one, okay. This one I've never even actually worn, but I love knitting it. It's a big triangle. With lots of colors, and what I really like best about this one is the gold that goes into this kind of green color. I love that. Hang on, just hang it. I'm cleaning up. Cleaning up. And this last one I'm going to show you is like this was one of my favorite shawls. I used to wear this all the time. Um, and this is a What the Fade shawl, which is really like the What the Fade. This was the second version of this that no, was it the second version? Yeah, it was the second version I made of this. But the What the Fade shawl is one of my favorite shawls to make because it has 6 different fades. And this is a fade that I actually specifically had this fade custom designed for me. I had it custom dyed by a yarn dyer on Etsy. And it starts with brioche. It goes into this beautiful, perfect fade. Check that out. Like, how perfect is that goddamn fade? 6 different yarns in that. 6 different yarns. And then, of course, tassels. Tassels on the end for good measure. All right. I'm gonna be taking a bunch of these shawls to Porkfest because I'm teaching a knitting class. I'm teaching a knitting class on Thursday. Oh God, candy corn! Oh my God. Okay, it's 2 a.m. Let's see. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats, just in case, because I wasn't really paying attention. I don't think I did. No, Sherry Lynn was the last one. And I'm actually knitting a shawl, or going to be starting knitting a shawl soon for Sarah, who's in my locals community who won a contest. So if you want a shawl knitted by me, the very best thing you can do is pay attention to when I occasionally do a contest. But all right, guys, I don't know if there's going to be a video tomorrow because I'm going to be heading up to Porkfest and I just don't even know how my day is going to go. So I'll be around. If anyone is at Porkfest, I will be around. Hope I see you guys. But thank you for spending some time with me and chilling out on this chill 2 a.m. morning. All right, guys, I'll see you soon.